Chicago Bears Now is presented by Roan. Look good, feel good, play good with the commuter collection from Roan. You can get 20% off at roan.com/chatsports and code chatsports. Go check that out today. All right, coming up on today's show, the NFL draft is obviously wrapped up. We took a look at some undrafted free agents that the Bears signed yesterday. So today, we're going to take a look back at the NFL free agency market, 15 players that I think could make sense for Chicago. After these selections in the NFL draft, just sprinting back through what Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus did, selecting Darnell Wright in the first round, Jervon Dexter Sr. on day 2, along with cornerback Tyreek Stevenson. Added another defensive tackle on day 2 in the third round with Zach Pickens. And then I really like a lot of the moves they made on day 3. Roschon Johnson, loved the pick. The more you read about this kid, the better you like it. Tyler Scott, I thought was the best value pick of this entire draft class. Noah Sewell, it wasn't a top need, but a good player there in the 5th round, the linebacker out of Oregon. Terrell Smith, Minnesota cornerback as well. Good athletic profile. We'll see what he can turn into. And then the 7th round picks also. Travis Bell, I'm sure you guys have read about him, the way Ryan Poles has raved about this kid's character. And then Kendall Williamson, who I think could be a nice special teams player at the safety position. What is the Bears' biggest need following the NFL draft? To me, there's a very glaring big one, but maybe you guys disagree. Let me know who you or what position you think is the biggest need for Chicago. For me, it's edge, defensive end. You need pass rushers. That was one area that the Bears were unable to accomplish in the NFL draft. Yannick Ngakoue still remaining available out there in NFL free agency. And listen, we've heard the telltale at this point. Yeah, he's not a very good run defender. I get that. But you're into the month of May now, and Yannick Ngakoue is still a professional pass rusher. He's got 8 or more sacks in every single year of his career. The Bears last year had 20 sacks total. He had 9.5, which would have made up almost half of what the Bears had. Last in the NFL, I might add, Jaquan Brisker, a rookie safety, led the team with 4. Just bring the guy in on a 1-year deal. Like, I get it if you don't think he's a great run stopper. Okay, like, he doesn't have to play every snap. Bring him in on passing downs. Like, you just need guys who can pin their ears back and get after the quarterback, and Ngakoue has proven to do that throughout his career. Now, should Chicago sign Yannick Ngakoue? What do you guys think? Type S for sign or P for pass. I absolutely think they should, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments. All right, if you don't want Ngakoue, if you want someone who's better against the run, how about Jadeveon Clowney, who didn't have a very good year last year with the Cleveland Browns, just a couple of sacks and missed some time with injuries, and things didn't really end amicably. There was kind of a split between Clowney and the Browns at the end of last season, but even though he's never lived up to being that number 1 pick, he's had a nice career, has never had crazy sack numbers, but had 9 a couple of years ago. And look, again, if you're more in the camp of I need someone who can stop the run better, well, Clowney can do that. If you want someone who can rush the passer better, well, Ngakoue could do that. Hell, I'd be open to bringing in both of these guys if the contracts made sense. I'm not sure Chicago would do that. I bet they'll probably just pick one guy, but we'll have to wait and see, of course, what Ryan Poles and company decide to do. Frank Clark is a player that Poles is familiar with when he was in the Chiefs front office. Now, he had an up and down stint in Kansas City, but Poles is familiar with him, can rush the passer. He's kind of in between, right? Like, he's a better pass rusher than Clowney, better pass rusher than Clowney, but a worse run defender than Clowney, but a better run defender than Ngakoue, but a worse pass rusher than Ngakoue. So he's kind of in between. Veteran, knows how to play. I wouldn't mind bringing him on a 1-year deal either. All right, today's show sponsored by Roan. Like we mentioned, the commuter collection, starting with the commuter shirt, which I'm rocking right now. It's just very comfortable. It's breathable. It looks good. Looking good has never been the problem for these apparel companies, but being comfortable has. They've got their 4-way stretch fabric, which provides breathability and flexibility that leaves you free to enjoy what life throws your way, regardless of if you're at work, going to the golf course, happy hour. Roan has you covered with tons of different items. Their dress shirts, their pants, quarter zips, and polos. Odor-free technology technology. With their Gold Fusion anti-odor technology, you'll be smelling fresh and clean all day long. And on top of that, Rhone is 100% machine washable. You can throw these shirts and pants into the washing machine, air dry them. You're going to be good to go, so you can save that money you're spending every month on dry cleaning. It's saving me a bunch every single month. Rhone.com/chatsports. Get 20% off your order with promo code chatsports. That's RHONE.com/chatsports. Code chatsports. That link is in the comments. It's in the description of this video. Go check out Rhone today. You're not going to be disappointed with their different products. I'm a huge fan of the commuter shirt myself, but tons of other items you can go select. All right, let's stick with the theme of edge. There's a lot of them. We will cover some other positions. Leonard Floyd, the first of two former Bears that we'll talk about here in this position. Obviously, there's a lot to make of, is he a scheme fit? He's been pretty much a 3-4 outside linebacker his whole career. Here's what I know. He's been productive, and he's been productive as of late. 29 sacks during his time with the Los Angeles Rams. After he left Chicago, they moved on from him this offseason, so he remains available. I don't think he's not a good scheme fit is a great enough excuse considering you don't have great pass rushers. I would absolutely bring him back. How about Robert Quinn? Robert Quinn, who just has had this bizarre career. Like, you look at his past 4 seasons, and this is kind of what it's been throughout most of his career. He's kind of an every other year guy. It's very bizarre. Last year, he looked like a shell of himself compared to 2021 when he had 18.5 sacks. So most people came to the conclusion, well, he's done. He's cooked. His NFL career's over. Well, a lot of people thought that after 2020 when he only had 2 sacks. In 2018, before the Cowboys threw a late-round pick at, I believe, Miami it was, a 6th-round pick, people thought he was done. He had 11.5 sacks that year. Maybe this year he's back to having a good season. Now, I'm not saying I'd throw huge money at Robert Quinn, but I also don't think he's going to get big money. He also, I'll add this as well, he did not want to leave Chicago. He made that clear that he wanted to stay. And, listen, if you want to bring him in as just a pass rush specialist, a mentor type, if nothing else, for vet minimum or just a little bit more, I would absolutely be open to it. He was a great ambassador for this franchise in the limited time that he was here, and I think it is notable that he didn't want to get traded, even to a Super Bowl contender like Philadelphia. Like, he wanted to stay, so maybe he'd be open to returning on a cheap deal. Poles, Flus, and Alan Williams spoke highly of him during his time in Chicago, so it's not like the new regime didn't like him. It's just they were obviously in a sell mode, and they were able to get a draft pick for him, but maybe you bring him back now. Who knows? Would you bring back Robert Quinn? Type Y for yes, or you can type N for no. Certainly not closed off to the idea. Wouldn't be my top choice. I would certainly look at Ngakoue, Clowney, or Clark first, but I'm definitely not closed off to it. Let me know what you guys think. All right, we'll shift to another position for now. That is Cameron Brate at tight end. I thought the Bears might draft a tight end. They did not. Obviously, they've got their top 2 guys, Cole Kmet, Robert Tonyan. You're feeling good there. But Chase Allen wasn't even on the 53-man roster last year. He was on the practice squad. Jake Tonjes spent some time on the roster kind of as a fullback tight end hybrid, so we'll see where he fits in. I think bringing in a veteran tight end 3 could make sense. Ryan Griffin's still out there, who you had last year, so maybe they bring him back, but he didn't really show much. I'd rather bring in a guy like Cameron Brate. Dalton Reisner, who spent the last few years with the Denver Broncos, I think the best guard remaining on the open market. Now, you look at what you have, I don't think Reisner would start for this football team because obviously you paid Nate Davis. He's going to be your starting right guard. Tevin Jenkins, by all accounts, is expected to shift to left guard, but he would be a great backup guard. You look at what you have, Lucas Patrick or Cody Whitehair, whoever doesn't win that center job, he's a solid backup interior guy, but you're kind of thin after that. Jatiri Carter, maybe Alex Leatherwood, Larry Borum kick inside, but I think a guy like Reisner could be a solid, flexible backup guard. DeAndre Houston-Carson, I think one internal free agent that remains out there that could make sense to bring back. He's been a special teams ace for this team for several years. Has not signed with the team yet. Obviously, the Bears added Kendall Williamson at the safety position. Jackson and Brisker, the starters, obviously. Elijah Hicks and Williamson in there. But if you want to bring in a reliable safety, if you want to go 5 deep at safety, or if a guy like Hicks or Williamson doesn't make this team, obviously DHC is reliable, especially on special teams. I do wonder if the draft pick of Kendall Williamson, a guy with a high athletic profile, should kind of project as a good special teamer. That could kind of signal the end of the DeAndre Houston-Carson era, but I'm still open to bringing him back. You know what he brings to the table. He knows the defense. He's good on special teams. If nothing else, make these young guys earn it, and if they beat out DHC, so be it. Subscribe to the channel. If the Bears do sign someone in free agency, we will break it down on a video here, so go ahead and subscribe. Turn on your notifications. Last time I checked, we're like 12 subs away from 66,000 subscribers, so help us reach that milestone. I would greatly appreciate it. Back to the edge position, Justin Houston, a guy who Matt Eberflus is familiar with in Indianapolis. He's still solid, man. Now, he's kind of in the Leonard Floyd mode of more of a 3-4 edge, but again, the Flus connection, which was a 4-3 in Indianapolis in 19 and 20 when he had 19 sacks, I might add, had a bit of a down year in 2021 with 4.5, but came back with 9.5 last year. He's 34 years old, but he's still productive, I think, in sub packages as a pass rusher. Even if he's not a starter, he can make a lot of sense. Again, I like that he knows Flus. He knows this defense. And Matt Eberflus, I'll add this as well, said at the league owners meetings that signing a veteran defensive lineman after the draft could make sense for this team. They, being the Colts in 2019, signed Justin Houston after the draft that year, and he had 2 great years with that franchise. I think bringing in a guy like him now could make a lot of sense. Poona Ford, you kind of beefed up at defensive tackle during the draft with Jervon Dexter Sr. and Zach Pickens, but if you want to add a veteran in there just for security to kind of join Andrew Billings there, I think that could be a possibility as well. Now, name a free agent that you want the Bears to sign, someone they should go out and get. To me, it's one of those edge rushers. I mean, bring one of them in here. You need pass rushers that can come in and get after the quarterback. I get none of these guys are long-term solutions, but I think Ryan Poles said it best. You can't fix everything in one offseason long-term, but you can bring in a guy on a 1-year deal to help you this year. So I would definitely do that with Ngakoue or Clark or Clowney. Let me know who you want the Bears to sign. And then 5 more real quickly here. Cam Fleming, kind of similar to Dalton Reisner, swing tackle type insurance for Braxton Jones or Darnell Wright if there's an injury there, or if, for whatever reason, one of those guys struggles. I'm high on Darnell Wright, but he's going to be a rookie. There's going to be a learning curve there. Isaiah Wynn, same deal. He could play both tackle spots as a swing tackle. Carlos Dunlap had a pretty good year as a vet edge rusher with the Chiefs last year, had 4 sacks. He could be someone to monitor. Dwayne Smoot, same thing. He was pretty solid with Jacksonville. And then Mercedes Lewis, listen, he's 38 years old. I get it. But after Cam Brate, he's my favorite tight end on the market. He's a great blocker. If you want to bring him in as a tight end 3, kind of a vet guy who's done a lot of winning in Green Bay, I would certainly be open to that as well. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Hit that subscribe button. Remember, we'll be live tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 Central Time. We go live every single Tuesday here on Bears Now. I know we have a lot of new subscribers from the draft, so our live coverage on normal weeks is Tuesday at 4 Eastern, 3 Central Time. So we'll see you guys then. Bear down. I'm signing off. We'll see you guys soon.